You're aware that the police and sister security agencies stepped up the security presence at Makerere University and its neighborhood. As of last Friday, following the strike by selected university students over the new fees, over the new, I could say, tuition fees by the university. Of course, there are those who expressed discontent over the fees policy, and they started with a strike that many were perceiving as a peaceful strike. But of course, on the side of the police, where there is no notification and so on how we can police any public meeting, assembly, or procession, then there are chances of that demonstration or protest transitioning into a violent demonstration. It still remains unlawful, by the way, the fact that the provisions of the Public Order Management Act were not followed. So initially, you're aware that we have a security team that is based at Makerere, which came up with a request to management following intelligence that there were plans to hold illegal protests at the university. So our joint security teams responded and beefed up security at Makerere University. We all know that Makerere, as an institution, is one that is actually politically active. We do have a number of politically aligned groups there. You've seen a number of political parties having members, students, youth groups that are aligned to them at the university, different political parties. I won't mention them. Now, of course, on day one, that was Tuesday last week, what we started with was by ensuring that we reduced the threat level. We had about 13 students, female protesters, who were actually arrested, and they were placed under protective custody. Protective custody means that they are just kept there without any charge and would be released at the end of the day once the threats that were being championed or carried out by them, once the threat levels have reduced. So in the evening, we had to release all the 13. Apparently, the following day, this is something that transitioned into a violent protest when we saw the male students getting involved in these protests. So the running battles began in there, but we want to really assure you that the joint security teams came up with the numerous requests, orders, and warnings to the protesters for them not to proceed with the strike and adopt probably holistic measures of engaging the university management and see how to address such issues. So our presence there was basically one that was to ensure that there are no crime and safety concerns, to ensure that there is rule of law at the university, and something which we managed to handle very, very well. Now, it so happens that in due course, we managed to arrest about 39 suspects. Now, these ones included 7 seven non-students. And that is an area which actually generated interest on the side of security, because if at all it so happens that this was a matter or a concern that was affecting the students' community, then how comes it was being infiltrated by non-students? So our security teams have taken interest in that area, and we are investigating to find out how this infiltration came in. Is there a third party that is involved? Is there some party that is fueling this conflict? And so on and so forth. Now, from the very beginning, our intelligence teams, that is the joint intelligence teams, had already picked intelligence that this was not a peaceful demonstration or protest. Chances of serious disruptions of the activities that were taking place at the university, and they also picked intelligence that this was a protest where the female protesters were being brought forth as shields, and eventually the male protesters would get to join. And of course, there was no way that we could get to permit such an activity because of the chances that it would disrupt business at the university. And also, there were still avenues that were not fully exhausted before coming to holding a strike or a protest, which usually comes in as a last resort. Now, what is interesting, we are getting to notice or learn that there appears to be a force at Makerere University that is rolling out university strikes to, or is actively involved in a number of strikes at university levels. We have gotten information of the involvement of Makerere University students in the Chambogo strike which took place, and we're asking ourselves, how does Makerere start getting involved in the action, in the activities at Chambogo University? Also got intelligence from Makerere University Business School of another team of university students from Makerere University who went to MOOBS, and they were also planning to hold probably parallel strikes. And now this is something that we are trying to sense, that probably there is an element of a third party of political actors and activists who are behind these university students. It's not just simply the tuition fee concern, but there appears to be something, a calculated move where we want to see the movement of university students highly involved in acts of activism and disrupting a number of activities or breach of peace within the Kampala metropolitan area, and probably even roll this out to other areas. So we have managed to get a list of students who are at the forefront, or ringleaders who are involved in this, and we are investigating them. Already we have managed to get one of the mobile money points in Wandegea, where they have been drawing funds and funding this whole process. So it is something that is beginning, that is becoming more interesting. Yes, we've indicated from the beginning that the protest was illegal, and because there was an infiltration of non-students, we managed to conduct searches in some of the halls. We conducted searches in Micho, University Hall, Lumumba, and I think Mary Stewart. And of course, like in Micho, there was a former chairman who up to today was still staying at the university, even past completion of his university education. So you try to find under what grounds was the hall accommodating him, yet he had completed his studies. Now this one, we found him with illegal drugs. We found him with a jerrycan of flammable fluid, and we found him also with the shisha in the room, which is a narcotic substance, and so on and so forth. So we are happy to inform you that we were informed by the university management that they have plans of meeting the student leadership today. We are waiting for the outcome, but of course the security presence is going to be there until the threat levels at the university are totally eliminated. We are not going to allow for acts of hooliganism and related sponsored activities to disrupt business at the university and disturb the peace and safety of other members at the university. Of Mitchell Hall, the former chairperson, one called Bandola Poli, is no longer eligible to stay within the halls of Makerere because he completed, but he has kept on staying at Makerere and is one of those ringleaders who are involved in disrupting business at Makerere. So we also had him arrested and got his statement. We searched his room. We got a shisha smoking pot, a jerrycan of petrol, a greenish powder substance which looked like drugs, and have been submitted to our forensic laboratory. And these ones we arrested them for threatening violence, malicious damage, and illegal possession of drugs. Now, there is also another. Then you saw the way they were posting propaganda videos and fake stories, carrying the photograph of a soldier who was knocked in Namugona dead, and then you start posting that to incite the public and then to fuel violence at the university. Because if you have a good cause, then why should you bring in propaganda issues to start telling lies and promoting fake news so that you can spread harmful propaganda and then drive sections of the public probably against security and so on and so forth. So this is a student, one called Mutatina says. We managed to track him, and he's a BCom student, second year on government sponsorship, and we managed to arrest him and charge him for spreading harmful propaganda and so on and so forth. So there is actually a lot that is actually taking place at the university, the number of behind-the-scenes programs that are taking place. And we have taken very keen interest in that, so that this business of getting to really roll out these strikes to other universities should get to stop, and we are going to investigate and find out who are those people, whether political actors or non-political actors. We shall get to the bottom of it and ensure that we also have them apprehended. So for now, there is still sanity at the university. The security presence that we have there is very, very effective, and we are ensuring that the porous areas where these non-student actors were basically using to infiltrate the university on the other side of Makerere Chikoni, we have beefed up our presence on that side, where there will not be any infiltration. So that is the notorious suspects we arrested in Ntungam following the 17 robberies.